welcome back. In today's video, we'll be discussing a topic that I have recently been bombarded with online. Okay, Sterling, what can you tell us about the difference between the law of attraction and manifestation?
All right. Okay, well, the law of attraction, let's start with that one. That's the easiest one, it's more broad. The law of attraction essentially states that what you send out, you're going to attract and bring back. So you want to send out positive energy, and the more positive energy that you send out, the more positive energy you're going to attract back in. Law of attraction. If you're sending out a bunch of negative energy, as far as the law of attraction is concerned, that's what you're going to start getting back.
Okay.
Now, at the same time, opposites attract too. So as you're sending out positive energy, it doesn't mean that you're not going to attract some negative energy in. Because again, opposites will attract.
Mm-hmm.
People heavily in Pisces are going to understand this probably a little more. Pisces has a victim mentality.
Okay.
And when it sends energy out, if it sends out that victim mentality, because it has a habit of going there, that's one of its negative aspects, as opposed to spiritual energy that it could send out, or positive spiritual energy. What ends up happening is it will attract people that will victimize them.
Oh man. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's sending this energy out and they're picking up on it going, oh, victim. So I can victimize you. Well, let's go. Most of the time, it's not on a conscious level.
Mm.
It's a subconscious attraction.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. Now, a lot of the times when you get these videos or emails, whatever they are, that you're getting about the law of attraction, they leave out the whole negative aspect of it.
Right. Yes. Absolutely.
The thing about it is you don't have to be specific when you're with the law of attraction. A lot of times you don't have to be specific. You know, I'm sending out good thoughts, good energy, good energy. I want to get good energy back. It doesn't matter what form it comes in. You just want good energy to come through. So it doesn't matter whether you're sending out, you know, you're expressing yourself, okay, and you're sending out all this positive energy and you're expressing it and all these people are getting it and it's awesome. What you might get back is more mental positive energy. You could get more physical positive energy, you know, physical attraction to somebody. There's a lot of different ways that it'll come back to you. When you're dealing with manifestations, manifestations are detailed. If you want to manifest something, you want to create something specific. You're not just going to go, oh, I'm going to manifest positive energy. Not the right word. That would be more like the power of attraction. You want to send it out and get positive energy back in. Manifestation is more difficult, but again, it is more specific. It's more detail oriented. It takes longer to do, and the results are usually much better for the individual who's doing it. The problem with manifestations are that there can be a domino effect with a manifestation, which means if you weren't careful when planning it, and you didn't realize that doing this specific thing was going to cause a domino effect that way, when you're done, you've created it, and then you send the energy out, it's too late to try to go back and fix it because you've already completed the cycle and you've activated it. So the domino effect's already happening. Bam, 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 bam. And you don't see it until the first one falls. And by that time, it's too late to do much about it. Then you have to go into, okay, we got to fix this whole thing. Law of attraction, you can stop sending the energy out. If you're sending out this great positive energy and you're like, yeah, I want to get this, and then you're like, wait a minute, that's not really what I wanted. I didn't want all this. You know, you're thinking, I want to send out good positive energy, right? I want to attract clients, lots of clients. Let's say you're starting a business. And all of a sudden, you've got more clients than you can handle. Okay, time to back off. Quit sending out the energy. If you did a manifestation for the same thing, the problem is it's not a matter of you shutting off the flow. You've bundled the entire thing, you've sent it out, it is broken apart, the cycles are out there, they're beginning, they're building, they're creating, they're completing, and now you have to determine, how do I stop this? So you have to put much, much more time into doing a manifestation than you do the law of attraction. Again, though, the problem with the law of attraction is it's not very specific.
Okay.
It's not detailed, it's not specific, it's not really gonna get you what you were
That's
hoping
the
it would get you.
that's the first kind of detailed anything I've heard on manifestation.
Yeah, manifestation is total, is
Truthfully,
complete
like
creation.
it's complete creation from what I've heard, or, from the videos, ads, emails, whatever.
Right.
You have to be specific. It's complete creation, but they don't say anything about. You have to take your time. You have
Right,
to.
right.
Be,
Right. Unintended consequences
you don't have
have energy and they carry karma.
right.
So yeah, you have to be very careful what you do. And again, it's not just shutting off the flow. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna get a little bad karma. I did this law of attraction, it really wasn't what I wanted. I'm gonna stop the flow. And that stops the attraction, because you stopped it. And again, the manifestation is a completed cycle. It's not, you're not a continuous flow of something that you're sending out. You've completed it. You have an end result that you want. And you hope that the manifestation that you did gets you the result that you intended. And the biggest problem with them are unintended results that you didn't see. Which is why I always say that if you're doing a manifestation in any form, at the end of it, you should be able to see a chart. You should pretty much have like a chart in front of you where you can see the aspects that you wanted, but then you can also see unintended aspects that you didn't realize were there. And then you can look at it and go, whoa, before I do this, I got to figure out how I'm going to deal with this semi-square problem, this square problem. This caused an opposition here I didn't realize. I have to either factor that in to the manifestation to either dilute its energy or to completely change direction
Okay.
and focus on how I want that energy to play out and where. You can do those things as long as you have something you can see. The problem is that most people that teach manifestation don't teach it that way. They teach it kind of like the law of attraction gets taught.
It's really kind of that's what I've seen is.
And then people,
It's a lot
I
of
need
attraction,
money,
but a little bit
I need,
more.
let's say I need $30,000, I need it soon. I'm gonna send this energy out, it's gonna be great. Okay. And you send it out for the law of attraction. Okay. Now, certain things can happen. You get a phone call. Your dad's sick. You're like, okay, that could be inheritance. That's not what I meant. Shut off the flow. If you did a manifestation for that, okay, the phone call you're probably going to get is your dad's passed. It's over.
Okay.
Here's a check for 60 grand. You got your $30,000, but the cost was enormous. That happens to quite a few people, and that's why quite a few people quit the metaphysical practices, because of things like that happen. The guilt that goes along with that is unbelievable, because you can't say that you weren't the root cause of it. You were.
Mm-hmm.
You were the one that sent this out,
Right.
and that
right.
was the way it came back. And that's what I mean by detailed. I want $30,000. Well, that's not good enough. What do you want? You want a lotto win? Think about that though. Do you want 50,000 people starting to call you because they know you won the lottery? Do you want to deal with this huge, massive lump of cash that you're getting in that now you have to figure out about accountants, now you have to figure out lawyers, now you have to figure out setting up your own businesses for it. What are you gonna do with it? How are you gonna structure this thing? Your family's gonna come out of the woodwork. Hey man, I have this great idea for, okay. No. There are, again, unintended things that come with those things. Okay. Now, did you want to win a small lottery prize? That's different. Go to the casino? Who's gonna know? Nobody really. That's the planning that needs to go into it. How are you getting it? Or are you one of these people that's like, I need to manifest this money, but I want it to continue to build and grow, so I'm going to do it business-wise. I want to cultivate some new clients. I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that. This is how I want it to build and grow. Those are the people that most people would think, okay, these guys got it. This is going to be a good manifestation. The problem is there's so many details that you have to have that chart essentially in front of you so that you can look down and go, what did I miss? Yeah, I wanted to plug all this stuff in, but now what do I have in here? Well, I got all these things, but I just broke up with my girlfriend because I didn't have any more time to spend on the relationship, and I didn't want that. Well, here's this square right here in your seventh house. Okay, it's going to cause an issue with this. And that's what that's essentially what you're looking to do, is try to figure out every single unintended consequence that could happen. Okay. Or I shouldn't say that. You should look at 4 unintended consequences and then redirect the energy and focus it in more of a positive way. Okay. Maybe a little challenge to overcome, so that you learn something as you're going through the process. Or let's say you're doing it for someone else. Let's say you have a niece or a nephew who's doing badly in school, and you want to help them out. But you also know that they have a tendency to be pretty lazy. And you're thinking, okay, well, if it's manifestation, I can put, like Jupiter, things of that nature, more discipline, Saturn, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna, I want to angle them nice, but do I want a trine? Because a trine's going to be really easy. And if the person's already lazy, that has a tendency to build that up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So no.
Yeah.
I want him to work for it. But if he works for it, I want him to be able to do better.
Right.
So then you're like, okay, I'm going to put a square in here intentionally between these. And it's going to be a square that's going to cause my niece or nephew to actually have to do something on their own. It requires responsibility, discipline, hard work. But once they do that, and they break through that challenge, then all of this energy is going to break out, and the good stuff's going to come in. You're like, that's a better lesson that I would like. And look at it that way. And again, start out small. Start out real small. 2 planets. 2 planets, 2 signs, 2 houses, boom. Good to go.
Okay.
Don't put a whole freaking chart together.
Okay.
In the beginning, I would start working with trines because they're easier. Trines, sextiles. You can do some squares. I would do a square on yourself first before thinking about other people, so that you know how big the challenges that you're building up are going to be. Whether or not you can actually focus the energy to get through that challenge before you throw it at someone else. How difficult is it going to be? So that you have an idea when you're working with this individual, after you've done it, what they're going through. So when they come to you, you can go, okay, I remember this. And one of the easier ways to deal with it was to do it this way and not this way. And it looks like they're going to do the wrong thing, so it's time to advise them in a better way.
Okay.
So that's where manifestations come in.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, and they're for advanced. Manifestation is really for advanced practitioners that understand the discipline and the responsibility that needs to go into creating these things, and not the beginner
Okay.
who wants to, go to Ollivanders, buy a wand and start doing things. I mean,
Right.
there's a lot more to it.
Well, a lot of this seems to be marketed to the newbies, though. Also.
Well, that's because the newbies are instant gratification. They want stimulation now. Their brains,
Yes.
and that really doesn't work with manifesting anything.
Mm.
That takes patience, resolve. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of planning. Then you put it into motion. That's the problem. Everybody wants a quick fix.
Mm.
They want to be able to just pick up something and, oh, look, I can do this. Well, yay. And it's, well, no, actually you can't, because you have no idea what you're doing or why you're doing it.
Right.
You have to build a script. You have to build all these things. And there are people out there that'll just borrow from other people's. You don't do that either. Your intention and the person who wrote its intention aren't going to be the same, which means it won't work the same way for you as it did for them. Even though it's easier to go, oh, I can just borrow that because it worked when we did it, 2-3 months ago. It's like, no. You plan it out
Okay.
like you would anything in your life. I want to get into this. What do I need to do? Well, as the bald woman in the Avengers talked to Doctor when she was talking to Doctor
yes,
Strange,
yes.
and he's like, "Well, how do I do all this?" She was like, "Well, how did you become a doctor?" Well, through hard, years of hard work and learning. Well, there you go. It's the same exact process. It's just focused in a different direction.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, if you want to be a gunsmith, you're not going to build your first gun in 2 hours. Load it,
Yeah.
go outside and start shooting. I mean, it doesn't work that way. You have to understand how to put it together, how it works,
Mm-hmm.
how it's going to work, how it's not going to accidentally kill you in the process. It's not going to blow up in your face, things of that nature. Everything that needs to go into it. Is it legal? Those type of things. And those are, again, things you have to think about. It's like love spells.
Mm.
Love spells are horrible, because essentially you're affecting somebody else's will. This person doesn't like me, I'm going to make you like me. Well, great. Now you just turn somebody into a complete stalker at the end of it. Oh, great. That's not what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Okay? Or a complete obsessive. I can't be without you, and then you didn't want that either. So you can't make somebody attracted to you if you want a positive outcome.
Right.
They either are or they're not. Messing with their energy is going to have a dramatically negative result. That most, again, unintended consequence. Most people didn't see that coming. Well, I'm so obsessed with them, I don't care if they're obsessed with me. Yeah, probably, not at that level. And you're affecting someone else's will. You should never affect somebody else's free will.
Right.
They want your help, great. They don't, great. It's got to be great both ways. If you want to utilize that type of energy and power. Otherwise, you're in deep trouble.
Right.
It requires humility, and that's where the discipline and responsibility comes into play. It requires all of that to make sure you understand what you're doing while you're doing it. Well, we can go back to Jurassic Park when they were talking about creating the dinosaurs. They said, you sit on the shoulders of geniuses, and you did things that didn't ever stop to think, should you?
Right.
You just thought, could you? And it's the same thing. You have to learn. You need the discipline. You have to have the responsibility. You have to go through the tedious stuff before you're going to be proficient.
Mm.
Otherwise, horrible things are going to happen that were not intended, but it doesn't matter. They're going to happen anyway.
Right, right.
And like you said, you don't want your parents to die so you get an inheritance because you needed money. Well, that's not what I wanted. Well, you didn't say. That might have been the easiest path. The energy followed and went, oh, that's easy, boom, boom, there you go. It's like, well, that sucks. Now I've got this to deal with. And I can't blame anybody because it's money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a horrible place to be. You can destroy the rest of your life.
Right.
You know, but that's the biggest thing. The law of attraction is very broad. It's non-specific for the most part, and it's in general areas. You want to attract things to you, so you send out positive energy to get positive energy back. But do understand that there's going to be some negative energy that comes, because positive energy also attracts negative, as well as it attracts other positive energy.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, one of the other key topics that I've seen
Mm-hmm.
included in these advertisements, I guess you could call them,
Okay.
would be raising your vibrational frequency
Okay.
in order to manifest anything.
Great. Go ahead. Raise it. No, seriously, go ahead. Raise it right now. Raise your vibrational frequency. Okay. There's a big how that comes into that one.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do it? Same that I've just been talking about. Now, you can do it through music. You can do it through other things where they've got the specific vibration that you want. However, what happens when the music stops? So does the vibrational energy, doesn't it? So you might have sent something out, something decent maybe coming back, but it's not continuous unless you're blasting that music all day long, which you could be. But even when you're doing that, you need to know what you're sending out. Just because you have a higher vibrational energy does not mean that everything that's coming back to you is good. It just means that you're pumping out a lot of energy for specific things. And then what is it that you want? If you're trying to deal with a physical norm, if you want to normalize yourself in a physical way, I don't know, you've got eczema, you want to get rid of your eczema or something, you sit there and you get some of these, like you were talking about, these, raise your vibrations and blah, 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 and you do it, and you're like, all right, hey, but the exercise or whatever it was for mental. Great. Didn't deal with what I wanted it to, dealt with that. So you're essentially using somebody else's intention as your own, but you don't really know what their intention was in the first place.
Right.
Especially if it's music or
Mm-hmm.
beats. You have no idea what they actually put into this thing when they created it. And if you do, you wouldn't need them because you could do it yourself. So, my advice, learn how to do it. And you can use other people's stuff, but get to a point where you understand what they're doing, how they're doing it, so that you're not inadvertently being connected to something dark,
Mm-hmm.
or opening yourself up to something you don't want.
Okay.
That's what the novice is going to do.
Right.
They're going to come in and go, oh, that's what I want. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I want. I'm going to do this meditation. And you get something you didn't want. And you're going, okay, well, that kind of sucks. My life's a drag. I really don't like it. Things aren't moving the way I want it to. I'm going to use this music for 6 hours. I'm going to sit here and listen to it for 6 hours with my headphones on, and it's going to change my life. 2 months later, you're divorced, you got fired, okay, and you're like, what? What just happened? Well, you wanted to change your life. You did it. But is this exactly what you were thinking about when you went in to do it? Probably not. But you did get what you wanted. It's the people that like go into Hollywood and they want to act, and they're all, oh yes, I got this role and I did this and I did this and I did that and blah 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 and everything's great. It's like, well, I'm working 16-hour days. I'm working my tail off. It's hard to enjoy it because no one's going to see it until I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
And by that time, I need to be working on something else
Right.
to get that ready to go after this one takes off. So you're always past, future, past, future, past, future, past, future, and a lot of times they get lost in the present. It's like people I knew that were in bands and things. You know, most of them didn't like living out of suitcases or most of their lives. They didn't like not knowing anybody because they were always strangers in the towns they went into, except for like the crew that was always around them.
Right. Mm-hmm.
A lot of the males that I knew that were gung ho on, you know, oh, girls are gonna love me because I'm in a band. Well, they don't love you. They love your persona.
Mm.
They don't know you. They have no idea who you are. They just know who you are up on stage. That's not really you, so it's fake. And then they're gone the next day because you're gone. Or the day after, you may have a 2-day layover or something, but boom, then you're out. And you're in a different city. You know, unless they're groupies, they can't pack up and go with you.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing is long lasting either.
Right.
And it's completely over. And then the conversations you have with people are about your past. Oh, I love this song. Yeah, well, you know, that was 3 albums ago. I'm not really working on that anymore. You know, look at people like Robert Plant,
Mm-hmm.
who used to get frustrated, very frustrated, anytime anybody asked him about Led Zeppelin. Because he was like, Zeppelin's over. I love the fact that I was in Zeppelin, but that's my past. Now I'm doing this. Let's talk about this. But everybody wants to talk about Zeppelin. It's got to be It's got to be hard.
Right.
To try to move on, especially when you were in something that was that great. So if you manifest something of that nature, just know you're going to be tied to it for the rest of your life. And you're never going to be able to completely get rid of it and go, okay, this is me now. Because people are going to go, no, that was you. I remember you. I'm one of your friends from way back. And it's like, great, now I got to talk way back. Because you don't care about my present or future. You care about my past, which is nice, but at the same time, I've talked about this so many times.
Right, yes.
You know, there's nothing more for me to relive. It's just hashing up old stuff. And that's where you can get with this.
Mm.
And you don't want to. So you have to be very careful, especially with manifestation. It's easier to cut off the flow for attraction than it is to fix a manifestation that's gone wrong.
Okay. Okay.
Any more that you need from that? Or
Not that I can think of at the moment.
no? Okay, does that kind of help?
It does.
Okay,
It does.
good. Hopefully it helps all of you also.
Yes, hopefully you were all able to learn something very important today. Thank you for joining us, and remember to like and subscribe.